What's good, collective? Welcome back to my channel, Melanin Intuition Tarot. My name is Ezekiel. I am an intuitive tarot and oracle card reader. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another pick a card reading with me today. And if this is your first time on my channel or watching my videos, welcome. I hope you enjoy your reading today, and I hope I say something that resonates with you. Um, Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also keep in mind that these are general readings, so please just take what resonates and leave the rest for somebody else. Um, so I wanted to do a bit of a fun reading today. So I wanted to do, how does your boss view you? I think I did this maybe like a year ago, um, but I just had the nudge to do it again. Um, but yeah, how does your boss view you? So this could be regarding your maybe your current job. You know, for some of you, this could even be your previous job, future job. Um, the energies, just kind of just depends on your current situation and just how the reading may or may not resonate with you. It just depends. But yeah, it could be past, present, or future energies. Again, these are general readings, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. So we have group number one here with this card with the amethyst crystal. We have group number two here with this card here in the middle with the pyrite crystal. And then group number three here with this African bloodstone crystal. All right, again, group number one, group number two, group number three. Make sure y'all are choosing with your intuition so that way you choose the group that will resonate with you the best. If you feel called to go to more than one group, you may do so. Um, I hope you enjoy your readings. I hope they resonate for you. If they do, don't forget to like the video and comment below. But when you are ready to go to your designated reading, check out the comment section below, and the timestamps will be pinned there. I will see y'all at your designated reading. Peace out. What's good, group number one? For those of y'all who are drawn to this amethyst crystal, this is going to be your reading today. We're going to be looking into how does your boss view you? What are their thoughts about you? Or just whatever messages that want to come up. So we're going to start off with this card here. You got Exorcist. So freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. I see that you're someone here who kind of goes against the grain. Um, because I'm getting like the Hierophant in reverse. Because usually the Hierophant in the upright position is more of a traditional, um, like a traditional way of doing things or a traditional way of viewing the world or just that traditional, way of life. Versus in reverse, it's more of a untraditional energy. Um, and it's kind of the energy I'm picking up from this group here. Even if y'all work in like an organization or, you know, what is it, corporate life or, more of a, traditional type of career, I still kind of feel like you kind of do things a little different or you may have your own way of doing things. And I feel like your boss, for most of you, your boss like appreciates that from you. It feels like it's not that you're like rebellious or you just, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do type of thing. It's not that at all. It just feels more of like, you know, you know what works and you know what doesn't work. You know how to make. I feel like you're more of a work smart versus working hard type of individual. There we go. I was trying to find it. It took me a minute to get there, but I think that's it. I think you're a work smart versus working hard type of individual. And I feel like with this exorcist energy, your boss kind of sees you. The letter V could be significant. Maybe your boss's name starts with a V or an E. Um, but I feel like by you doing things a little bit different, it's not that they view you as doing things wrong or insubordinate or anything like that. But you do things a little bit different. You may be one of those like workers who like policy makes like if you're training a new worker, you're probably one of those people that like policy says this, but we really do it this way. You just have that way that it works. It may not necessarily be 100% policy or procedures, but it works not only for you, but for the company or organization as a whole. So I feel like your boss kind of views you as this like visionary or this like leader in the workspace, and you don't have to have an actual leadership position or role. Some of you might, but despite that, you lead in a way that's more of like leading by example, and I feel like your boss really appreciate that from you, for the most part. For others of you, if you have a bit of a like uptight type of boss, that's just very black and white, um, I'm feeling like they view you in this more shadow attribute. It says here, fear of facing your own demons. Um, and it's not that you're again doing anything wrong or bad. It's more of you're really what's the underlying feeling of it coming from your boss is inspiration is what I'm picking up from this. You inspire your boss, you inspire your higher ups and people at your and not even your boss but others coworkers at your job, um, to kind of do things in a different way, the way that you do it. You're very influential, um, which is funny. 'Cause, this card doesn't really talk much about that, um, but you're very influential to the people around you and to your boss and those who like I'm picking up like you're one of those people, you're one of the workers that like when you get a new person come in or somebody who's coming like new to the organization or company or to the role, or position, they kind of bring them to you to train. um, I feel like your boss really values your thought process and the way that you teach others. So I feel like that's the way you kind of lead. You lead more so by example versus leading. Again, for some of you, versus leading as an actual position or role. Again, you could very well be a manager or supervisor or coordinator or whatever that may be for you, but you more so lead by example, and that really inspires your boss here. Let's get some tarot cards. I'm also picking up shamanism. So some of you may have a very healing energy in the workspace. I feel like your boss, yeah, really views you in a very healing energy or very healing light. Now, your healing may not always come in a very like comforting or like very soft type of way. Your healing may come more so with this death card at the bottom of the deck. You may have a lot of Scorpio in your chart. Your healing may come in more in the form of like chaos or chaotic. Not in a negative or bad way, but just more so in like, again, like you do things in a different way than what others may do it, and because you do things a little bit differently, that causes these shifts and changes to happen um, in the organization and company. How does group number one's boss view them? Five of Swords and Knight of Cups. Okay. um, it's giving like a little bit of a rebellious energy because Knight of Cups is like the teenager of the court. So you got Page is more of the child, Knight is more of like the teenager. Then you got Queen and King. Um, so this kind of paired up with this Five of Swords is just giving me like very Gen Z. So y'all may be like very young in the workspace or one of the younger ones in your at your job. Um, yeah, I'm picking up like 20. Some of you may even be like in your um, I only read for 18 and up, but I am picking up like, you know, a bit of a younger crowd here from this that's coming through here. But it's giving me like Gen Z kind of doing my own thing. Um, there's a bit of an unbothered energy here also. But overall, I also feel like with this Five of Swords and this Knight of Cups, it's giving very like creative vibes. Because the Five of Swords can talk about, even though it can have a negative connotation when it comes to like sneaky and conniving type of energy, I'm not really picking that up. I'm picking up more of a strategic energy here. So strategic paired up with this Knight of Cups, which is a very creative energy. I feel like you have a very out of the box way of thinking about things, maybe going about certain things like projects. Even if you work at, I don't care, like a fucking McDonald's or a drive through somewhere, you may have a way of operating or keeping operations flowing smoothly by doing things in a way that makes things easier, if that makes sense. So again, it's that very like work smart versus hard type of energy I'm picking up from this group here. I really like this energy. I resonate with this a whole lot. Um, yeah, I definitely feel like you trigger a lot of higher ups or people at your job because of the way that you work. You just got your way of doing things. I'm picking up like neurodivergent here also. But again, you just have your way of doing things, and it's not that you're not willing to do things in another way or do things the right way. I'm gonna put that in quotes here. But you know what works and you know what doesn't work. You know you've been around the ringer, even if you're new. You have that experience, that transferable experience and skills that you're like, okay, I know how to do this because I've been through this in my last job, or I know how to solve this problem in this way that's going to not only help us, but it's also going to help these people in this department. It's going to have this domino effect of making things easier and smoother. I'm gonna get some more. King of Swords, yeah, you very much a leadership vibe coming from you. If you're not like a manager or supervisor or something at your job, I definitely see that in the cards for you. You may even be somebody who tends to work your way up pretty fast. You may tend to like learn things really fast, learn things really fast and easy. Wow, Page of Cups, and you got that with the Knight of Cups. So again, this very like creative energy to you, very youthful energy to you. Again, some many of you may work with like a lot of older people or more traditional minded people, or you may work in a career or field to where it's like, okay, you got to do it this way, this way, this way. It may be very black and white. And while for the most part you keep up with that black and white, especially, if it has to do with like, if you're like a nurse or something, or it has to do with somebody's life or, livelihood, like you do what you're supposed to do in that sense. But it's like small details or small things to where you're like, okay, doing it this way doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's try it this way so it can make it easier for all of us. But again, you have that like very youthful vibe and energy to you. Even if you're someone who is older, I'm not just talking to older in age. You may be very youthful in energy, very playful. I'm picking up like at times you may come off as a little childish, but it's not you being childish. It's just you expressing your inner child, and you know, yeah, you're just expressing your inner child. You're not, and it's not that you don't take things serious. It's just more so of like, why am I, why am I taking things so serious, or why am I taking this specific thing serious? You're not black and white like at all. You're very very much like, there's multiple layers and aspects to what makes up who you are as an individual. And your boss, I feel like, really appreciates that for the most part. And for others of you, your boss just doesn't get you. Yeah, Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups. Yeah, for many of you, your boss, they have a hard time keeping up with you. Is what I'm kind of getting here. Yeah, very youthful energy to you though. You bring a very youthful and creative and, um, yeah, that type of energy to the workspace. Um, I'm also hearing like you're full of surprises with this fish coming out of this cup. So again, like you're just very different. Your boss views you as very different than the average worker or people who they've worked with in the past. You just do things different. You walk different. You dress different. You think different. You believe different. Excuse me. You value different. You're just a very different individual. And again, your boss really, really appreciates that about you. So you got three fives here. So Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and the Five of Swords. So 555 could be significant for you. 555 is also the angel number of change. So you again, like I said before, you bring a lot of change into the workspace. Um, I'm picking up Taurus energy here also. So some of you can have a lot of Taurus energy in your chart, even though there's not really any Taurus here. This is just kind of the energy I'm picking up. I'm picking up a very like Venus energy, very youthful, very, beautiful and lively and, um, abundant type of energy that you come with. Five of Pentacles, you're also very supportive and helpful to others. Also, you have no issue or problem helping others. You may get a little bit irritated if people, you've said the same thing over and over again and they still don't get it. You may get a little bit irritated, but for the most part, you don't mind helping others. Some of you may even be a recovering people pleaser. Um, but other than that, I definitely feel like you're very, very supportive of others. I'm drawn to this church window here in the back, which represents help and support. Um, I feel like many people also view, like, even though you may have a very youthful energy to you, you still come off as very wise, based off of a lot of experience. You don't look like the things that you've gone through, group number, one. And a lot of people, again, with this surprise energy from this Page of Cups, people are very surprised at the wisdom that you hold and the experiences that you've had in your life, if they even, um, are able to get close enough to you to learn those things about you. Um, Five of Cups with this Five of Pentacles, definitely again, you definitely don't look like the things you've gone through. You definitely have a past, um, and you're not very open. You're not too open to about it to most people. Only a few, select few people know about your past and your experiences. Um, so your boss may view you as a little, closed off as far as like who you are as an individual. Five of Cups energy also is like uh, what is it like? Looking at the glass halfway full. So you are someone with this Five of Pentacles energy. You're somebody who is able to, um, what is it like? Hold space or perceive things in a different way than others may perceive it. Again, like you're very different. Like what may be stressful to some people, you're just like, okay, all right, we got this rush. Um, our drive through is wrapped around the building. Okay, cool. Let's get through this shit. This is what we did last time. It worked for us, so let's do this shit again. You just have a very different way of viewing things, and it's not that you're positive or negative. It's just more so of like you know how to shift your mindset and shift your perspective to view things um, in a way. It's almost like you're tricking your own mind into not stressing your and not stressing out. Because I'm hearing somebody be like, "I do not get paid enough to stress out about this." So again, you may just have a very different way of viewing things and viewing life and just working in general. Okay, can I get just one of these oracle cards here? Just one card, one or two maybe, of how group number one's boss views them. I'm getting a lot about like your coworkers in this group. Um, so again, you hold a lot of influence within the workspace when it comes to other workers. Not just your boss, but again, just other people in your workspace. Like you're very inspiring to others, and it's through your actions. It's nothing that you're saying. It's the things that you're doing. Um, I'm hearing like you being watched even when you think you're not being watched with this Five of Swords energy. And it's not in like a creepy way, it's just more of like your boss and other people really watch you and watch how you handle certain things or watch how you do certain things. And that again really inspires them. The magician energy, you're very resourceful, very, very resourceful. Can I get like one or two of these cards, Spirit? How group number one's boss views them. Healing, yeah. I was saying that before. You have a very healing energy to you. Um, it says return to wholeness. Part of this situation may need some healing. Lovingly notice any disharmony and then turn your focus to healing. Allow the universe to support you. Yeah, with this Five of Cups energy, like you don't focus on the problem. You're very solution focused. And I feel like your boss loves that about you. You're not stuck on what's not working. You're not like moping around. You're not being pessimistic. You're not being negative. You notice the problem and you almost automatically go into problem solving mode. And your boss loves that about you. And I resonate with this group so much because I'm very much the same way. I can sit in the problem with you, especially as like a coach and tarot reader and spiritualist. As I'm helping others, but let's not dwell on the problem too long because then you may get too comfortable in that problem. Let's work on a solution. Let's start this healing process, or let's work along this healing process because part of the healing process is also, um, sitting with that problem or sitting with those emotions or feelings and really processing it and then moving forward. but you're very much into like, okay, I've already processed it. It did not take me long to do that. So now I'm ready to move forward. How do we fix this problem? The problem is already here. How do we fix it? Let's move on because I don't feel like stressing about it anymore. That's the energy that you kind of hold here. And again, your boss really, really, really appreciates that from you. You got enchantment here at the bottom of the deck. So again, that's that Venus energy I was talking about. Cultivate beauty and magic. Um, See beauty in the ordinary. Yeah, you have a different way of just viewing things. Notice the magic and miracles in the mundane. If you cannot find beauty, then seek to create it in the world around you. So again, like you have a very different way of viewing life. You may come off as a bit of a free spirit. And again, your boss really, for most of you, your boss really enjoys that about you. All right, group number one. These are all the messages that I'm seeing for y'all. So let me know how this reading resonates for y'all in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, and I will see you all in my next reading. Peace out. All right, what's good? Group number two, for those of you who were drawn to um, this pyrite crystal, this is going to be your reading today. Let me move this. I forgot to move that from the last one. Okay. All right, let's hop into this reading today. We're going to be looking into how your boss views you. I feel led to read this too. All right, so we got teacher. Interesting. Okay. So, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. So, your boss, um, I just heard they kind of view you as their boss. You bring group number two a lot of experience into your workspace, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. You have like a wealth of knowledge and wisdom and experience and skill sets here that um, is very impressive to your boss. Your boss is very impressive with you. They may even like, for some of you, you may even be like your boss is like sidekick or not in like a kiss up type of way, but more so of like they really, your boss really values your word and really values what you offer and what you say, whether they show it or not. That's gonna be different for everybody because some bosses they may really value you, but they may not always show it. Um, that's a message for somebody here. But I feel like again, your boss here really values you. I'm seeing all this blue, so they really value your words. This that throat chakra energy, and it's funny that this looks like the earth here, or whatever this little blue ball um, is right over her throat. So your throat chakra here, um, your your words and the way that you communicate things um, is very valued. You're very valued in your workspace is what I'm picking up here. And what they value the most is like your opinion on things. For some of you, it could be different for everybody. Some of you, you may be very opinionated and you're not afraid to vocalize those opinions. And for others of you, you may be somebody who doesn't always give your opinion or you may not always speak up. But the times that you do speak up, for some of you, this like you speaking up could be very rare. And it's not like you're scared or anything. It's just more of a you do it or you don't do it. Everybody, some people are just shy and introverted. But when you do speak up and say things, their ears perk up because they're listening, they're taking it in, they're incorporating that into the decision. So you have a lot of influence in your workspace. Heavy, heavy, heavy influence energy here. You pull um, a lot of weight around your work. You may take on a lot of responsibilities, take on a lot of tasks, and I feel like your boss really appreciates that also. I feel like you also are a great leader as far as showing people what it means to, be in your position or to work at your company or organization. Um, I got this message in group number one, but you maybe, you know, when you have new people who come along, you may be somebody who they to help train. So some of you could even be like a trainer, um, or you may be in a position to where you like coach your staff or coach other staff or employees as far as like the job and the work. But I am definitely picking up like heavy trainer energy here. You're very good at like teaching people things, showing people things, how to do stuff, what's right, what's wrong. Um, you have a very down to earth energy here. Okay, let's get some tarot cards. Before I even shuffle, you got the Eight of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck. So very hard worker, very diligent, but also with this Eight of Pentacles too. Um, Eight of Pentacles energy is like that apprenticeship energy. So again, you may be like a teacher. Some of you may actually, literally be a teacher in a school. You may be a trainer, coordinator, um, or just somebody who's very diligent and consistent with their job. Um, and like the work that you produce, um, again, it's very valuable to the company and to the organization that you work for. How does group number two's boss view them? I just heard otherworldly. So you may be like a little bit. Your boss may view you as a little weird. Is what I'm kind of getting. Not necessarily in a negative way, but you just have a way about you or an energy to you that, and it's not always the things that you say, because again, some of you may be very like introverted or quiet. Um, it's more so in like the way that you move, like not even the way that you move, but more so of like, how does she know that I'm here? Like, how does she know that? How does he know that? How are they getting this information? How do they know this? So what I'm picking up here is that you're very intuitive. Your boss views you as very intuitive, and it's almost weird to them how you catch on to things really quick, or how you just kind of know things or know how to do things, without you having to like run to them or run to somebody else for answers all the time. Like you somehow have these answers within you already. So some of you, you may have a spiritual gift of claircognizance. I'm also picking up the gift of gab, um, especially with this throat chakra energy here. So you may be very influential with your voice. Your words hold a lot of weight. How does group number two's boss view them? Ouch. And at the bottom of the deck, you got the Eight of Pentacles that wanted to show back up. So a very hard worker, very good at your job, and you're also very good at showing others. Also, with this Eight of Pentacles, also I'm also noticing how this he's creating this same pinnacle over and over again. So your job or people at your work may like mimic your work or mimic how you do things, not in like a mocking way. They're not mocking you, they're mimicking how you do things because um, you inspire them to do it that way, or you are just again very influential in that way. I would be careful with that also because you don't want them just stealing your work or stealing your, what you do or the work that you're putting out there or producing, and then they're not paying you for it, or they're not truly showing you the appreciation and value. And that may be something that some of you may go through. Like you may feel like overworked and underpaid. You may feel like you're going through, or you've gone through a lot of shit at your job, like doing so much work, but not being shown that value and appreciation. And I'm not really getting that like your boss is doing that intentionally. Um, it's just that some people just don't have, some bosses or managers and leaders just don't always understand that like you have to value your staff. You have to value your employees. You have to show that value and appreciation. Not just keep telling people that. You have to actually show that. And that may be something that you've experienced in maybe past jobs or maybe even at your current job, is that you haven't been like truly valued. Like they're using your work, but they may not be like giving you the credit for it. That's not for everybody. That's felt very specific for somebody here. So again, take what resonates with that. So just be careful with your work here. Some people just want to take that shit and not pay you for your shit. So Ace of Swords. So, ooh, Ace of Swords with the King of Cups. Um, you're very good at like communicating. Again, this sword energy is that air energy, which is associated with like your the mental, your mind, even communication, talking, speaking. So with that, with the King of Cups, which is a very like diplomatic energy, very good at mediating and making connections, or even connecting others together. So again, your words and what you say is very valuable, and it um, almost bridges the gap between people and their opinions, and you're able to offer like a different perspective on things that like your boss may not have seen before, or other people in your, maybe in your company or organization, may not have seen or noticed before. So again, like it's like that energy of like, how do they know that, or how do they see that, or like, I've studied this spreadsheet over and over again and I didn't see that. How is it that group number two caught on to that so quickly, or caught this mistake so easily, when I've looked through this thing a million times? So you may even have like an eye for detail, group number two, that your boss notices about you also. Um, I'm getting like a lot of different messages here, so it's like a lot of things that your boss really appreciates about you. Um, hmm. Let me see what else is here. Okay, you got the Page of Cups and then the Fool. Okay, so you have this like youthful energy to you. If you're drawn to group number one, there may be some messages in there for you, but you have this very youthful, like carefree type of energy to you. Yeah, I really like this energy though because I feel like on one end, your boss views you as very coachable. Like you're very open to learning new things. You're very open to learning new skills, new knowledge, things that you know will benefit you. But you're also very intuitive to know like what to take and what not to take. What advice is valuable to you and what advice is not really so, doesn't really hold as much weight. So you're very intuitive in that sense of knowing what's best for you, what's not, and what's not best for you. And your boss doesn't actually know that about you, but that's just something that you do. You may not always take things. Some things you may just take with a grain of salt, and that's great. Um, but for many of you here, you just have this very carefree, like very fresh type of energy, like a breath of fresh air. Like you offer such fresh new ideas here with this Ace of Swords energy. Fresh new ideas that, again, is just very beneficial and conducive to the progress of the company and progress to the mission. I just heard the mission, our mission statement. So some of you may work in nonprofit. That's what I'm picking up here. You are very, very creative with this Page of Cups energy. You got Page of Cups and the King of Cups. Um, your boss also views you as somebody with a lot of potential. In the tarot, there are in each suit. So you got one sword, cups, pentacles, and in each suit, instead of there being like Jack, Queen, King, in like a traditional playing card set, there is the court card. So it's Page, Knight, Queen, and then King. So Page is like the childlike energy of um, the court cards. So the Page is like the up and coming version of the King of Cups. So what I'm picking up from here is that your boss sees so much potential in you. Um, the King of Cups is a very diplomatic leader. He's very much a very sound leader, somebody who's very peaceful, um, very good at, again, making connections with others, very diplomatic, um, very emotionally balanced. They're not easily stressed or easily overly emotional. They have a very good control over their emotions here. So you may be more in a page energy. Some of you may be just starting out in your career or in your field, um, or your boss kind of views you as like, you may not be where you where your potential lies just yet, but they see the potential in you. So right now they view you in more of a page energy, like very fresh, very new, um, but also very youthful and very hungry for more in your career. Um, and they view this as your like final, like your final development here is this King of Cups. They view you as such a great and sound leader that, um, yeah, you're just a great leader here, or have the potential to be a great leader. And like, even though you're very youthful, you're very mature also. It doesn't matter the age. There's just a lot of maturity to you. Even though you have this very goofy side, also you have a very goofy, playful, and funny side. But you also know when to put that to the side and be serious about what you're doing. So you have very good duality, is what I'm picking up. I'm gonna get one or two of these cards here just to close out this reading. How does group number two's boss view them? You got timing and trust. So yeah, your boss definitely trusts you. They feel like even if they're not there that day, they trust you. They know that, like it says here, you are in good hands. They know that the company or organization or the team is in good hands. Um, they also trust that, like, if they give you a task or give you a project to do, they know they can trust that you're going to do it very well in a timely manner. You're going to get it done. Um, I'm also picking up too, like you don't have a micromanaging boss. I feel like your boss really trusts that you will get things done. So they may not, you may have a boss that's not on your back all the time versus other people, who may have a very micromanaging type of boss. And even if your boss is a bit of a micromanager, it's nothing personal. Um, I feel like that would be more of just who they are as an individual versus whether they trust you or not. Because I feel like your boss really trusts you. They know that you're going to get your work done. They know that you're going to have quality work. They know that you're going to do what you're supposed to be doing. They know this. Um, yeah, and with timing here, again, they know that you're going to get things done in a very timely manner. They know that you're not going to you may goof around a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, you may goof around a little bit because I'm picking up again a very youthful energy to you. You take things serious, but you also take things not so serious. You're not stressing yourself out over a job is what I'm picking up here. Um, so again, like you just have this very like trustworthy, um, diplomatic type of energy to you, very open and wise type of energy. And I feel like your boss loves how like um again I'm picking up trust. I know I've repeated that a million times, but they love how they can trust you to get things done, complete certain tasks or projects. You may complain a little bit, but you're gonna do it. You're gonna get it done, and they really appreciate that about you. Um, some of you may talk shit. You may talk your crap. You just might do that. But you know that you're gonna do it. You know you're gonna do your job, and you're gonna get it done. And you're gonna get it done um, in a with a lot of quality to it. Something about late. You may be a little bit late to work every once in a while, or maybe even all the time. But it's like even if you're late to work, when you do get to work, when you do clock in, you're you're on it. You're on top of it. So some of you, you may be late, but your boss doesn't really make a big deal out of it because they know that you're going to do your job and do what you're supposed to be doing. All right, group number two. I think these are all the messages that I'm seeing for y'all. Um, Please let me know how this reading resonates for you in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, and I will see you in my next reading. Peace out. What's good, group number three? For those of y'all who were drawn to this African bloodstone crystal, this is going to be your reading today. We're going to be looking into how does your boss view you. Okay, so we're gonna start off with this card here. We're gonna get some tarot cards and see where the reading takes us. Not the gossip. So you got gossip that came out. So okay, let's go with the light attribute. So awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. Um, I am picking up that your boss really likes you. Like your boss, some of you may even be friends with your boss, or friends may not be a word, or may not be the word. Y'all may have a close connection with your boss. Not in a romantic sense. I'm not picking up romantic at all, but like you have a great relationship and a great connection to your boss. Like your boss really enjoys having you around. You and your boss may actually like gossip together. Y'all may talk shit together. Um, that is so funny. Wow. You may be the company's gossip. I don't know. It could be different for everybody. But to go along with the light attribute here, it says awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. Um, hmm. Okay. So your boss, I feel like, really values the things that you um, may say as far as like your ideas go. You may have a very like a boss that like you may come to them and be like, "Hey, I have this idea," or "Hey, I'm thinking about trying this," or "I want to do this." Like you have a very supportive boss. There we go. That's the where I was looking for. You have a very supportive boss, very supportive manager or supervisor here, who like if you have like different ideas of what you may want to do as far as your position goes, your department and the organization or company, like as a whole, your bosses for the most part like they're down, like they're all for it. They're all ears, and I feel like that's because they really value, first and foremost, they really trust you. So some of you may have known this person for a long time. Um, yeah, you may not have known your boss for a while now. Um, but I definitely feel like your boss again just really values your ideas and really value like what you bring to the table. I'm hearing the name Sam, uh, Erica, Sarah, Maria, um, Susie. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm seeing 222 also. I'm seeing the word earth. So somebody may be an earth sign. What is it? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm also picking up Cancer energy here also in Aquarius. I'm also seeing 111. But yeah, your boss here really values your what you bring to the table, and they are always open to hearing like what you have to say. Even if you, even if it's just y'all just talking, just normal conversation, they really enjoy talking with you and conversing with you. Even if they may come off as like busy or I'm busy right now, or you know, I'm even the same way sometimes, and I try not to do it, but it just happens. Like if my staff are talking to me, I may be sitting there like you know doing whatever work on my laptop or finishing whatever little project I'm doing. I'm listening. I'm all ears, but I'm also working at the same time. I don't know how I do it, but your boss may be the same way. Even if it may seem like they're not listening or they're not really interested in the conversation, they are. They're actively listening, or they're at least hearing you. How does group number three's boss view them? Somebody could work at Old Navy, may work in retail. I just got a notification from Old Navy, a coupon. You got the Five of Swords, the Death card. Okay. All right. Five of Swords. So you're somebody who they may view you as a bit of a gossip, like in a more, not necessarily negative, but in a maybe unprofessional sense. Um, like when you talk shit, group number three, you really talk shit. Like you really do. Um, So they may, some of you, they may view you with this Five of Swords energy as like, you may talk about people behind their back. You may, and this isn't for everybody. This is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm just going based off of what I'm picking up over here. Um, but yeah, some of you, you may be a bit of a gossip and more like negative sense, or more in this shadow attribute. So it says thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidence. So you may have like information or no secrets or no things about other people at your job or company, and you may gossip about that. Maybe not necessarily to your boss, but maybe to other people. Um, ooh, yeah, you may you may need to shut your mouth a little bit, group number three. I ain't gonna lie to you. You may need to shut your mouth. If you do find yourself in this energy, like I would stop. Um, you got death that came out here, and this isn't a physical death at all. This is more of a transformative energy here. Um, so I would, not do the whole gossiping things as much, because it may cause like an ending as far as your work goes. You may, end up getting terminated or fired due to, workplace rumors and gossip. So again, if you resonate with that energy of gossiping, talking about other people, and it may not even be you talking bad about people, you just may be sharing other people's information that they didn't give you permission to share. Um, so I'll just be careful with that, because that may actually lead to like a termination, or you getting fired, or you getting some type of reprimanding at your workspace. Um, with this death energy, you may have Scorpio on your chart. Um, some of you may be a little bit sharp at the tongue. That's not everybody, but some of you for sure. Queen of Wands here at the bottom of the deck. So you hold a lot of power. Um, my only advice, or my big advice here, is to make sure that you're not abusing that power. Um, you may even be somebody who's like, oh, well, I know the boss, or I'm really cool with the manager. I can do this, I can do that. Don't get no big head. You may be in a bit of a egotistical energy. And again, this isn't for everybody. It's just for a few of you. You may be having a big head as far as like your pool in the workspace. But I wouldn't get too big of a head, because again, it could lead to a termination. At the end of the day, your boss is going to do what they have to do. If it becomes something that is very toxic to the work environment here, I feel like your bosses will always do what they're supposed to do. Even if it means they have to let you go, or let somebody else go, or just do what's in their policy and procedures, they will choose their own paycheck over a friendship or a close connection with somebody else. Does this make sense? So they will choose their job over you. Just let you know that. So just be careful in that sense here, which is a good thing. Your boss is always supposed to have that integrity and do what they're supposed to be doing. You come off as a bit of a darker energy, not. And when I say darker energy, I'm not talking about like evil or wicked or anything like that, but you just may be a little bit more like mysterious, a little bit like um, I don't know how to explain it. The only word that kind of comes through is dark, or darker energy here. Hmm. Let's get some more cards here. I want to a little bit more about this information. What else, Spirit? How does group number three's boss view them? Yeah, you definitely may be a bit of a gossiper, a bit of a talker here. If that's not your energy, then this may not be your group. The Chariot. You're very much a no nonsense type of individual. You don't put up with a lot of bullshit, like, at all. Because the chariot, one message that comes through with the chariot is like the chariot only moves forward. They never move back. So you may be somebody like, people, you may have trust with others, and like somebody may do one thing to you, and you go from like having a high level of trust with them to zero. Um, and it's not that you don't forgive them, it's just that like when you peep or notice things, I'm sorry, I have like hiccups. Ooh. Um, oh my gosh. Okay. When you like, again, like peep certain things about people or situations, um, you're very good at pulling your energy back, or not necessarily pulling your energy back, and you move forward. I'm gonna get some water real quick. Ooh. Okay. Um, yeah, you're very good at like, keeping it pushing. Um, yeah, you may just not fuck with a lot of people at your job or workspace, and it's not necessarily that you keep to yourself. It's just more so that you maybe a little bit private as far as like your own personal life. You may tell people like little things or small things, but you don't tell people everything. But you'll listen to other people. You'll listen to other people. You'll listen to the gossip, or as they say at my job, the chisme. So somebody here, you may be Hispanic or have Hispanic descent or Latin descent. Page of Pentacles. Excuse me. So Page of Pentacles. This feels like your boss views you as somebody very determined. I feel like if you're given a task or an assignment or a project or whatever it may be for you, you see it all the way through. You're not doing things halfway. You're not like, yeah, you're not doing things halfway. You're not half-assing anything. You're going to do it. You're going to take your time. You take your time with it. Somebody here may stutter. Um, Something about asthma here also. Somebody could have asthma, but you take your time with things, and you're very patient, very diligent. You're very goal oriented also, which really drives. You're a very driven individual, very powerful. You're with this Page of Pentacles energy. Your boss views you as somebody who has a lot of potential to make a lot of money. So you may again, you have this willpower to really push through things, and I feel like that would really be beneficial for you in your career, or your boss views that as beneficial for you in your career, whether you stay at that company or not. Which I feel like with this chariot energy, your boss knows that you're not going to stay there forever. They see you like progressing and moving on, um, and really climbing up whether it's you climbing up the ladder, and getting to a really higher up position, or you taking your talents elsewhere, and climbing up elsewhere. They also see you as, you have the potential to be an entrepreneur here also. So if you are somebody who wants to have your own business or start your own thing, your boss definitely sees that with you, and sees you being very successful with that due to you being very goal oriented. Ooh, these hiccups are kicking my ass. Five of Pentacles. So your boss, they've seen you like go through like hard times. 11. So 1111 that was on my timestamp up here. So they've seen you go through hard times, and they've seen you pick yourself back up through all of that. No matter what setback, delay, loss that you've experienced, they've seen you take hits and then get back up and keep it pushing. So with this chariot energy, they see you as somebody who's very power, powerful, somebody who's again, they have a lot of willpower. They're very determined and very just driven by um, driven by their visions in life. And I feel like your boss also sees you as somebody who's very supportive of others and supportive of the team. You may help out a lot, or help out other people or other departments. Um, you may help out a lot here. Five, five here. Um, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not really stuttering much. It's just the hiccups are just kicking my ass. See, like I'm trying to speak and it's just keep on interrupting me. Um, but five is number of change. So you bring a lot of change into the workspace, especially with this death energy here. You bring a lot of change, a lot of transformation. You have a way of like doing things that um, your company may be like, oh well, let's change doing it this way, and let's do it the way that group number three is doing it because it works better or it's more efficient or effective. Um, so you offer a lot of insight, and your boss really values your insight and your idea. Um, yeah, let me get one of these card, one or two of these. Can I have a card or two to finish this reading out? How does group number three's boss view them? View them? How does group number three's boss view them? Okay. So this came out first. You got grounding. So I feel like they view you as somebody who's very grounded. Oh yeah, you got grounded, focus, and intuition. So they view you as somebody who's very like present. Um, you're not worried about the past. You're not worried about the future. You're very like, even though you're very goal oriented, which is more future, you are very focused on doing the things that you need to do now in the present moment in order to get to where you want to be in the future. So again, very goal oriented, but also very grounded and focused um, into the present moment. Yeah, they view you as somebody who's very focused. Like when it's time for you to work on something or complete a task, or you know do whatever it is that your job requires you to do, you're very like you're locked in is what I'm getting. You're very locked in. Especially if you work in like retail or fast food or customer service in some type of way to where like things may get really busy at times. Um, they see you as very cool, calm, and collected during times of stress, of high stress, when it's just really like busy. You're very calm, you're very focused, um, and you're very like pattern oriented. Um, you're very good at like following the pattern or following the steps that you need to take. Um, I feel like you're very air sign oriented. So like, was it Gemini, Libra, Aquarius? With intuition here, you're very yeah, you're the way that you think during times of stress or times of like when it's really busy, it really shows your intellect and really shows what you bring to the table. Yeah, you're very intuitive here also. Uh, you're very good at like thinking on your feet here with this intuition card and focused. Very good at thinking on your feet. Again, like very like your boss thinks that you thrive under times of stress. They think like you do your best work when you're like under pressure in some type of way. And it's not that they do it intentionally. Some things you have no choice but to be under pressure a little bit or some moments. But um, they see that when you are in that type of mode or mindset of things being very busy, going very quick, you're very, very like focused and locked in, and you get shit done. Like you get it done effortlessly. Like to the outside world, you look cool, calm, and collected. You look like you're like nothing's wrong, but maybe on in your inner world, you may be like it's like that episode in SpongeBob where is it? It's like inside of SpongeBob's head, and there's just a bunch of different SpongeBobs, and it's like in this office setting, and then all of a sudden, like things like a fire, a fire starts, and then now everybody's panicking in his head. In your own mind, you may be like panicking or like you may be stressed internally, but you're not. You don't show it externally, and your boss is really impressed by that. They really enjoy that about you. Okay, group number three. These are all the messages that I'm seeing for y'all. Please let me know how this reading resonates for you in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next reading. Peace out.